I remember the old abandoned treehouse in the backyard. I figured that would be a good place to hide it until I could get rid of the evidence properly. I looked both ways before bolting home to the backyard to hide my shameful comebox. Now, I nearly broke my neck climbing up, considering how rotten some of the footholds were. But now the comebox was safe and sound up inside the treehouse. Now, to come up with a plan. Monday, December 16th. It's the last week before winter break, and it's been insane here. Ruby Bird and Fregley are now an item, but instead of them making out or holding hands or something else gushy, they did something worse. They found a bird that died from hitting the window outside of Mr. Huff's class. Instead of leaving it alone like any normal person, they used it as a soccer ball. Suffice to say, they got suspended. What the flip? Part of me wants to do something like that to start my break off early. But I also don't want to actually get suspended. At lunch, Riley wouldn't shut up about going to Merida with his family over the break, so I eventually had to tune him out. The guy well enough, but he can get really chatty. Later on, I overheard the quiet kid from the table next to us talking about how to make napalm. It reminded me of that one Vietnam movie Dad forced me to watch with him. Shudder. When I got up to drop off my tray, I gave him my cookie. That way, if he ever goes psycho, he'll spare me. Hopefully. They're all a bit messed up either way, and I don't want to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. At least we won't have school for a couple weeks. Wednesday, December 18th. I know I've done a lot of weird stuff, but I think I absolutely screwed myself over. So I've been sneaking out almost every night this week to the treehouse to not into the box. Dance died, by the way. Nah. And tonight, Rodrick caught me leaving the treehouse. He asked me what I was doing going out to the treehouse in the snow. I played it off, but then he whipped out his camera and showed me this.
What the fuck?
He knows about my Comebox. My eyes went wide and he said that if I F with his crap, then he's sure and hit this picture to mom and dad and Grammy and whoever else he felt like. I felt sick to my stomach. I just nodded my head. He went back inside and now I'm double effed. I can't let mom or anyone else see that photo, otherwise I'm dead. Now I have to figure out how to get rid of that photo and the Comebox. Saturday, December 21st. Christmas is almost here, and along with mom's Santa Scout and Roderick's threat breathing down my neck, I'm sweating bullets. At least I don't have to worry about the school on top of it. If I did, I think I would end up on the news. Teen commits 9 cases of manslaughter. Eyewitness accounts quote the kid as saying, F my school. I went to build a snowman rally to take my mind off the Comebox situation. I'd forgotten, but by the time I was outside the door, I remember that he and his parents went to Mexico for the break. I didn't want to go back in, but I didn't want to freeze outside by myself. After thinking about it, I went for my last resort, hanging out with Fregley. Even then, I swore I'd never go back to his house after the booger incident. This was an exception. Fregley can actually be okay sometimes. I'll bite in small doses, stay around him too long and he'll talk about certain products of his, along with a used gum collection. He saves loose hairs and nail clippings and weird stuff like that. As long as I stay away from his room, I'll be in the clear. Alright, have you ever tried drinking? It's incredible. I have a bay brewing in my backyard. I got to his house, and when I knocked, his mom answered the door. She lit up and called for Fregley. I started chattering about how it's so nice to see her son have friends of his age, and this and that. I felt bad for her, so I nodded along and tried to smile a few times. Eventually, Fregley came from upstairs and rushed outside to meet me. We went out and started a snowman. When I got hit in the back by a snowball, Fregley got his glasses knocked off by another. I turned to see he started a snowball fight. There was a group of at least a dozen grade schoolers dragging a red wagon full of snowballs. Immediately, we tried to fight back, but we were outnumbered and outboard. During the fight, I tried to dodge one of the ball, clubbed by another, knocking me unconscious. Ow! Ow! Help me, Greg! Ouch! I woke up, however, later to find myself in Fregley's room. Crap. My head pounding, and there was an ice pack on my head. The house vaguely smelled like pot roast, and there was some quiet chatter downstairs. I saw a note on the beside table, so I sat up to read it. Dear Gregory, Mom told me to bring you in here after that kid hit you in the head with an ice ball. She also told me that you're welcome to have dinner with us. Figures. I took off the ice pack and started to walk towards the door. I saw a glint in Fregley's closet. What was that? I moved back and forth in the same place to make sure I wasn't imagining things. Yep, there was definitely something in his closet. Against all rules of logic and sanity, I checked the closet. I just had to see what was reflecting light in there, you know? I opened the doors and I saw a jar. Then a mossy smell hit me. It was one of those big mason jars that remind me of when mom tried to learn canning for a mommy blog, then abandoned after dad got a case of botulism. The jar wasn't filled with a normal Fregley substance, however. This wasn't something like chewed gum or used Q-tips or erasers. It looked like a murky brown liquid with darker brown lines along the inside, showing how whatever this was evaporated. I picked it up to get a closer look at it. Submerged in the liquid was a Joshi figurine? What's the flip? I set it down quickly and made a beeline for the nearest bathroom to scrub my hands clean. Only God knows what was in that jar. I don't even want to know how many diseases I just picked up by touching that. I ended up having dinner with the two of them and leaving shortly after. I'm so glad that you're doing alright. Kindergartens, am I right? They can get so out of hand, haha.